Amazon would just go make up the price that they would want to sell it for and bill his company for the difference and say, oh, well, we had to lower the price, so you owe us like $1.2 million. They had 1,000 listings a day that they identified as counterfeit for their inventory. They weren't taking this stuff down for a year and a half. Yet, when Amazon's trying to figure out who your manufacturer is, they are real quick to say, hey, I need that purchase order to make sure that this inventory is legit. We know that the FTC and DOJ are investigating Amazon. The EU is investigating Amazon for how it treats its third-party sellers, but they're analyzing how does Amazon treat its third-party sellers and what negative impact does that have on the end customer, right? They keep on trying to make that last jump to the end consumer, and they don't even need to bother doing that. If they just say a producer is a customer, and therefore the customers are put at a disadvantage when you take advantage of your suppliers, that's your case. But for some reason, they want to always go back to the end consumer and just overcomplicate things. So anyway, PopSockets CEO, you know what PopSockets are? In the back of your iPhone or put the little snappy thing and you can hold on to the phone and you can brand it with company swag and logos and all that stuff. Anyway, they do like hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. There's a House committee interview. You had the CEO of Sonos and a couple other executives from companies that are talking about how Amazon's taking advantage of them and being, too aggressive. I'm going to play the clip here with the CEO talking about how Amazon took advantage of them.
Today, I want to talk about two challenges that we've had with Amazon. One involving counterfeits, the other involving bullying or strong arming. So we started our direct relationship with Amazon about a year and a half into business. So the middle of 2016, we started selling product to Amazon. Amazon, in turn, would sell our product on the marketplace. It was immensely successful. Within 5 months, Amazon became our largest customer, and we became one of Amazon's most significant players in the mobile electronics accessory category. PopSockets was the number 3 search term at some point on Amazon. So we had immense success, but despite the success, we never felt like we had a genuine partnership with Amazon. So the problem of counterfeits is the first problem I'll talk about. We had enormous amounts of fake product that were taking our sales, creating bad customer experiences. And of course, it was illegal. So illegal activity on behalf of those selling them. And when Amazon was the seller, Amazon was clearly engaged in this illegal activity. And multiple times we discovered that Amazon itself had sourced counterfeit product and was selling it alongside our own product. For a year and a half, we requested that Amazon take some action, some serious action, and just require evidence from sellers that they were selling authentic product. After a year and a half, finally, in exchange for about $1.8 million of retail marketing funds, which my team deemed ineffective, Amazon agreed to work with their brand registry department to require this evidence, and things then changed dramatically. So that problem largely went away. There was another problem of knockoffs, products not using the PopSockets name, that took a while longer to go away. At one point, we were reporting 1,000 listings a day of fakes. Every day, 1,000 different listings of fakes that were eating away at our revenue and really harming our brand too.
So that's interesting, right? What he's saying is, I think it sounded like they had a 1P relationship with Amazon where Amazon's the reseller of the product. Sounded that way. But Amazon was double dipping where they had the relationship directly with PopSockets, and then they were sourcing it from third parties and then selling it as PopSocket product, but it wasn't verified as authentic. And then the company was saying, hey, this is counterfeit stuff. This isn't actually PopSocket product. And you're letting people sell it as PopSocket stuff, but it's not PopSocket. And they didn't do anything about it for a year and a half. $1.8 million, not clear if that was just the marketing team saying, hey, we burned through this money on ads, on Amazon or something like that, or if they actually made a payment to Amazon of $1.8 million for Amazon to get serious about taking down counterfeit product, which, as he pointed out, they relatively easily could take down that third-party inventory because they already had the relationship directly with the manufacturer. So that's point one.
Next, I want to turn to bullying, the lack of a symmetrical partnership. The way Amazon works is, we sign an agreement together. So there's what's in the written record of the agreement. Everything looks good. We decide on a sell price to Amazon. Then what happens in practice is that Amazon decides what price they want to sell to the consumer for. And after they do this, often lowering the price, they come back to us and demand funding for their lost margin when they lower their price. There's nothing in our agreement that says that we're required to pay for this. And yet they say, we need this, we expect this. The bullying begins. We decided to end our relationship with Amazon over this. This was one reason we cited when we gave to Amazon. Their response was, no, you're not leaving the relationship. I found that unbelievable that they would tell us that we were going to continue in the relationship after we told them that bullying was the main reason we were leaving.
No. What this guy's talking about, I haven't even talked about these issues, right? What he's saying is, we had a contract with Amazon that they would sell our products, and there was a floor for how much they'd sell the products for. And then he says that Amazon would just go make up the price that they would want to sell it for and bill his company for the difference and say, oh, well, we had to lower the price. And so you owe us like $1.2 million, David. And so you're going to pay that? And they would do it all over the phone. So there's no written record of any of this. But Amazon just knows that they have so much leverage over them and that they want to provide, the best price or whatever their algorithms or their pricing algorithms are telling them, hey, we need to offer it at this price. Okay, the algo goes down. And then they hit up David's company for the delta and say, hey, well, you got to cover this. So that's a whole other ballgame of what we've talked about on the show, which is that when you aren't, this is a manufacturer. This is saying that when you are a third-party seller, that we've seen examples where you're a third-party seller, you're a distributor, you're selling stuff on Amazon. Amazon asks you for the purchase order to verify that your stuff is authentic, which what you heard David say is they had 1,000 listings a day that they identified as counterfeit for their inventory. They weren't taking this stuff down for a year and a half. Yet, when Amazon's trying to figure out who your manufacturer is, they are real quick to say, hey, I need that purchase order to make sure that this inventory is legit. And then magically, they look at the purchase order and they figure out who your supplier is, and then they go directly to the supplier and now cut you, the third-party seller, out of the transaction. So there's all kinds of stuff here, right? These are the kinds of cases where you can say, hey, look, who is Amazon making its money off of? They are charging fees to the third-party seller. This company is actually paying them, has agreements for this. It's a little bit tougher in the 1P party, in the 1P structure, though, I will say, if these guys are a 1P, it's a little bit tougher for the producer as a customer relationship to be verified because technically in 1P, Amazon is buying product from the third-party seller, in this case, PopSocket. In the 3P, the third-party seller relationship, right? Amazon's not taking inventory. They're not actually taking ownership over that product. They are just letting you sell through the marketplace, and then you pay 10 or 15% of the overall purchase price to Amazon. So it's a little bit different structure of a relationship. That 3P structure is a much cleaner relationship to show that producers are customers. And as Jeff Bezos detailed in his annual report, April of last year, 2019, that through the year of 2018, 58% of the products sold on Amazon were actually from third-party sellers in that 3P relationship. So it's actually the majority of products that are being sold on Amazon do fit that model. I think we're inviting David to come on the show. I think that they were 1P. Now, they he goes on to say that they also had a verified dealer. Basically, David goes on to say that they eventually told Amazon to go screw and that they're actually not going to sell their stuff on Amazon anymore. Amazon then continued to take down all of their listings and boot off any verified authorized distributors of PopSocket as well. Those distributors probably had more of a 3P type relationship with Amazon, which is what I'm talking about. And so you could probably find some funny games that they were playing on that side. And then this producer is customer to argument fits much more nicely. It's just an interesting thing to highlight here. This may not be the best example to say, hey, this was antitrust, because you need to show that these guys are a producer. The Congress is probably looking at this and saying, well, okay, look, hey, this is actually hurting the end customer. But again, as we've spoken about, it's just too loose of an affiliation. That's never really going to stick in 5 to 10 years when you're done going through the court system. There's just not enough meat there. You got to simplify this, focus on producers or customers. But I'm sure David has some other examples or some other, say, like these authorized dealers of theirs, those kinds of things that you could show that as a third-party seller, as a customer, they were being taken advantage of. Hi, this is Alex from Winner Take All. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the content. Feel free to leave a comment, ask us questions, and definitely make sure to join us on our next live stream.